right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited about this one because we have an announcement here at the top, plus a lot to get into here, as always, with the vigilante of pro wrestling. That is our very good friend Bentley. A lot to get into here with Bentley. We've got Bolton Town Wrestling to get into. We've got GT Ministries to get into. We've got the scenario Nathan Gunn comments to get into, plus my own announcement and an announcement here right at the top related to GT Ministries' huge sold-out show at the Fountains Church in Bradford. So, without further ado here on the Sportzwire, number one global sports show, pro wrestling star here from GT Ministries, Bolton Town Wrestling, and almost anywhere else you can find him in the UK. That is my friend. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm a bit under the weather at the moment, but I'll be all right. How are you?
I've went through that, and I think I still am going through being under the weather because my ear has been like totally blocked. I have no idea why. So for whatever reason, it seems like everywhere you go around the world, somebody has some type of sickage. I don't know what it is, but I hope you get better. I hope I get to 100%. But be that as it may, Bentley, you are still the vigilante of pro wrestling. And when you're at 50% or even 60%, it's still better than my 110 or 120%. So we have a lot to get into here over the next 45 minutes or so. And I want to go right to the top here because GT Ministries management has always given us here the inside scoop. We have breaking news regarding you, my friend Bentley, at the Fountains Church coming up here in Bradford this Saturday, because at Sold Out, we are going to have a fatal four-way match for the number one contendership to the championship that is now held by Disciple, who was with us last week. And certainly Disciple had a lot to say, which I'm sure you're going to have a thought or two on. But you are going to be involved in this fatal four-way match for the number one contendership to the new champion Disciples title. You'll be in the ring alongside the head trainer of GT Ministries, that is Sean Only, also the metal god Alex Boylan, somebody you're no stranger to, and Drill. So for those that are listening and watching this on Sportswire Radio and are fans of GT Ministries who are going to be in attendance Saturday night at the Fountains Church, give us your thoughts.
Well, it's a strange one, really, because I've got a lot of history with two people in that match. I've got Sean Only on one hand, who I thought I got rid of. You know, we had that long feud at GTM. And then Alex Boylan, who I'm actively currently, you know, back and forth with, who's, you know, I got involved. I cost him his shot at the title in the ladder match, didn't I?
Yep.
And then Drill, who I have never, ever been in a ring with. So that's a bit of an unknown for me. I mean, it's three angry men. Well, I class myself, actually. There's four angry men. But, you know, there's only one of us out there who's going to be doing it for the fans. And one of us out there who's doing it for the right reasons, I would say. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be high energy. It's four quite big men. You don't usually get that in the UK. Four, you know, brawl.
I don't think you get it all together in wrestling that often. A fatal four-way match involving four big men, but four unique wrestlers in the four of you. I mean, so certainly it's a match that, I mean, how do you prepare for something like this?
Don't really. You just, you go in and you give it your all because you cannot prepare for things coming from every direction. You've just got to get in there and do what you can.
Well, we're going to certainly find out. I mean, so we know that you have a history with Sean Only. We certainly know you have history with the metal god Alex Boylan, but then how does Drill here kind of factor into this match? Because you know Sean Only, you know Boylan, but Drill, you don't know. Is he almost the wild card here in this match?
Yeah, potentially, because I've watched some of his matches. I know what the guy's about, but I've never been in there with him. I don't know what to expect, especially in a fatal four-way. Like, it's not a straight-up one-on-one where I can kind of, you know, you can watch tape and you can look at matches for one-on-ones. Four-ways, people do unpredictable things.
Well, I mean, we'll certainly find out here at the Fountains Church, and I want to give a shout-out to management here at GT Ministries because they are tuned in. We said we are looking forward to this Saturday, another stack match with an incredible talent fighting over a championship opportunity. This is GTM, and of course, We love GT Ministries, and I want everybody to follow GT Ministries on Facebook at GT Ministries, Twitter at GT Ministries, Instagram at GT Ministries, YouTube at GT Ministries, and I believe TikTok as well we're on now. And Blue Glasses Girl is always working the phone. She's always working the back. So I want to make sure everybody recognizes her. But I mean, I'll get into Disciple in a few minutes. I'll get into the whole situation with Gareth Angel. He was in the house with us last week, so I'll definitely get your reactions on that. But in terms of a match like this, I know we've been in the title picture for a while. I know we fought Jack Johnson, and Sean Only certainly was probably the reason why you eventually didn't get that title. But in terms of getting back on the mountain, getting back to where you've got a shot here at the title, I've got to imagine this is really, again, I say it's cliche. We've asked you this question before, but biggest match of the year has to be, no?
Well, yeah, I've had a lot of big matches this year.
You have been in like big main events this year. I have to say, between GT Ministries and elsewhere, you have definitely been in some big fight matches. But this, I mean, again, and I'm not just saying it because I'm really trying to sell GT Ministries, because we love GT Ministries on Sportswire. But I really do feel like that when it comes to a match like this is that big moment.
I'd say this is the start. We've had a journey this year. We've had the ups of the title matches and then the downs of the, not actually getting any, not winning those title matches, but also not winning those title matches, not because of my own ability, because of outside interference, decisions not going the right way. I've had to rebuild myself. I've had to, I've got to get back to the drawing board. I got a few wins on my belt. I beat Jack Barron, we just got back into the swing of things, and now this is kind of the start of the journey again. We've got the four-way. This is the opportunity to get, a shot at that title, and then we build into a strong 2023.
That's why I kind of feel like in a lot of ways that this is a big match and the biggest match, because this is the last match. And they always kind of remember you when you think about the year. They always remember you last. They always remember, what did you do last? And that's why I really feel like a win here is a big deal. And I also think it solidifies you in terms of Sean Only, Boylan, and then Drill, somebody that's, to me, the wild card. So I kind of feel like that's why, for me, I really think that this is a huge, huge opportunity and a huge chance to get back and maybe hold the GT Ministries Championship, which brings me then to somebody that I know you have a history with, and it was your first main event that you were with him in the ring here at the very beginning. It feels like yesterday, Bentley. I had you on earlier in the year. We were speaking about the match against Disciple, the main event earlier in the year at GT Ministries, and yet here we are now, and we're at almost the end of the year, or November, almost into December, and we're now speaking about Disciple, and Disciple, of course, some may say controversially won the GT Ministries Championship. Maybe more controversy after the match and what he did to Gareth Angel. But I got to tell you, Bentley, Disciple did say what he intended to do right before the show, and he did it and some. And certainly his comments last week with us on Sportswire Radio certainly solidified the fact that Disciple now is running GT Ministries. He's at the top of the table. He's the guy, and wanted to get your reactions first to what he did to Gareth Angel and him becoming the new GT Ministries world champion.
So Disciple's a confusing individual to me. Before that match, he hadn't won at all in GTM. He hadn't got a victory in his whole GTM career. To my knowledge, he'd lost to me in his debut. He didn't win the ladder match. He had another qualifying match for the Rumble that he didn't win. He didn't win the Rumble. It confused me how he got a title shot in the first place, which I don't know. I don't want to go into the logistics of things. And also, when he was against me, he was quite a nasty individual. The next show, he was quite a happy man. So I was quite confused as to where his allegiances lied. Like, it was like the Big Show, turning one way or the other. So I'm not really sure on Disciple, to be honest with you, and his intentions, and also he's now got the Disciple Wrecking Crew, is it?
Yes, we have
I
a new
only know
shirt
of
out there,
one.
by the way, which you can find
Yeah,
out more information. I know you're not going to buy this shirt, but there are people that might want to go out there, and you can go to Disciple's social media pages on Instagram, Disciple Wrestler, and also find out on BigCartel.com for more information on his Instagram page to buy a shirt. I know you're not going to buy one though, I would imagine,
no,
right?
I mean, I was just saying, I only know of one wrecking crew, and they're in the LWF, and that confused me as well. So Disciple is a bit of an enigma to me. He's someone I know I can beat. I know, like I said, he's only won one match in GTM, and fortunately for him, it was a title match, and Gareth was injured. So, what else can you say?
Well, you could certainly say a lot, but I
What?
mean, while you make some fair points hypothetically about Disciple and the fact that he hadn't won a match in GT Ministries, but he had only, my recollection, had been pinned just by you. So, I mean, he lost these different matches, but he wasn't pinned. And certainly he made maybe the biggest statement in winning his first match to be the biggest match of them all, and that's winning the GT Ministries World Championship. And he did say that he was going to wipe Gareth Angel off the face of the earth. And I mean, I'm sure you saw what happened and saw the footage. I mean, Gareth Angel looks like right now, I mean, we had the injury update on Sportswire Radio. I mean, severe concussion and timetable. Who knows when he's coming back? So, I mean, I would have to imagine, though, anybody that steps foot in the ring with Disciple, though, certainly could meet the same fate, no?
I mean, anybody who's not prepared, I mean, after seeing that, people are going to have to be prepared for what he can do. I mean, I've already been in there with him. I know what he can do. I didn't meet the same fate. He may have changed over the past 6-7 months, but so have I. I've evolved. I've got better. So if I've got better, I would say a bigger curve than he has. He's older, He's older. He's, coming towards maybe the end of his career.
Wow! Wow! I didn't think you were gonna go there, and you were kind of gonna talk about the age there of Disciple. I mean, he looks like right now he's in the best shape of his career, and this is a guy that's been in there with the Knight family. He's been in movies. He's had big wins over the Ronin, Brian Adenson, the Playboy Prince, Lance Rivera, some big time guys. He's been in there, and like right now, the way he looks since he's come back over the past 4 or 5 months, I mean, that's a big word you had there, my friend.
Well, like I said, let's see what happens when so Gareth's gone now from GTM for the time being. We don't know what's going on. He's got an injury. We don't know how long he's going to be. So there's a big void there. A void there that, only I would say a vigilante can fill. So I'm gonna have to step up because at the moment in GTM, the landscape is more, there isn't many people.
No, I think, listen,
for the fans.
I think totally you made a great point, and I'm going to get to more GT Ministries coverage in a second related to Jack Johnson. We're going to kind of almost tie two birds at once, and I can't say kill two birds at one stone. But, I mean, when you think about GT Ministries right now, I mean, there is kind of a void. I mean, Disciple is the guy. We've got you, but you still have a big match in front of you. And then also we've got Rarebit, who's still kind of also a factor here. I mean, do you look past your opponents this Saturday? Because, I mean, you had a lot to say about Disciple, and then you've got, obviously, Jack Johnson lurking because he's going to wrestle Linda, who's obviously kind of our director at the Fountains Church in Bradford, and she means a lot to GT Ministries in a lot more ways than people, I think, realize. I mean, I don't know what to ask you after all that. I mean, the total landscape of GT Ministries is totally unknown, but do you not look past your opponents this Saturday? Because you have a tall order, but you also had a lot to say about Disciples. So go ahead, jump in.
Yeah, of course. Like, I can't look past this Saturday. I mean, Sean Only been in the game since I was little.
I mean, and he's better right now than CM Punk, who always gets looked compared to. He's the CM Punk lookalike. He's better in the ring right now to him.
I've been in there with him. I've only beaten him by roll up. I'll say that. I haven't. It wasn't it wasn't a big defeat. It wasn't something I didn't. I won't say I got lucky, but it was a very even contest. Boylan, I've never pinned. We've been in the ring together 9 times. in different configurations, singles, four ways, whatever, tag teams. I've never ever pinned him. And Drill, obviously, Drill's been in the game for a long time as well. So if anything, I would. It is an uphill task, but it's something I'm going to have to do for the benefit of GTM. And Rarebit, he can use that briefcase whenever he wants. He could use it on Saturday for all we know. You know, Disciple's got an open challenge. So Rarebit as well is someone I will not overlook, as he's another person who I haven't pinned. You know, I won a four-way with Rarebit in it. I pinned him, and he, you know, through BTW for the title. And
well, I mean, that was something in itself. We had you on right after that, and I mean, watching that match, and we were almost like literally, I guess you might have been the champion or might not have been the champion, but certainly that was a match for the ages. That's why you've had so many big matches this year. I mean, I think about Bentley's year, and I think in a lot of ways, and we'll get to more comments because I have a bunch of comments, including a plug on your behalf as well. But I really do feel like even though you didn't, let's say, get quite the gold, and obviously everything in GT Ministries, Bolton Town, I'll get into as well. But I almost feel like you were kind of like the wrestler of the year in some ways in GT Ministries in Bolton Town, and especially here in GT Ministries. If I said to you that you were the wrestler of the year in GT Ministries, what would you say to that?
I mean, that would be a great honor. I mean, there's a lot of competition, I would say, for that honor. I mean, as much as I despise Jack Johnson, the year he had, won the title, kept it, beat Mustafa Khan.
That was a big. I mean, the way he defeated and disposed of Mustafa Khan, I don't think Mustafa Khan's been the same since.
Yeah, so there's, you know, we've had Sean Only on a run as well. Even Maverick Matt's on a, you know, he went on a winning streak. We had Tommy Dillon on a winning streak. We've had all sorts of people who, you know, who have been an integral part of GTM who could have that mantle. So it would be an honor to like hear that, but I think there's a lot of people who are in contention for it.
Well, we'll certainly find out here more, and let me get to some more comments. Uncle Ralph, of course, of the top tier and CCW is in the house. Good evening, gentlemen. Of course, Uncle Ralph has been there at GT Ministries show, so as always want to make sure we shout out Uncle Ralph. Love Uncle Ralph. Also, a plug on your behalf and Disciples shirts as well, where you can buy a Bentley shirt and a Disciples shirt. You can do that by going to gtministries.co.uk/merch. So make sure you go there and buy some merchandise. Make sure you support the cause, support the likes of Bentley, the vigilante of pro wrestling. Also the likes of Disciple. We still love Disciple here on Sportzwire Radio. Always love what Disciple has to offer. Want to give a shout out, of course, to our friend Shelby Siner, of course. She is always a part of big things in Blackheart Wrestling, UKW, and we'll have her back on the show, I'm sure, before the year is out. It's crazy. The year is almost over. I think we're about 7 weeks out until 2023, so time certainly flies when you're having fun here on Sportswire Radio. And, of course, Casey Jack Bradley says, I can see Bentley dethroning Disciple, and the champion is with us here, Disciple professional wrestler. Certainly, your nemesis, and certainly maybe your arch nemesis. I mean, certainly you and Sean Only, Jack Johnson, and Alex Bowen himself. But since Disciple, the champion, is here in the house with us, I mean, anything you'd like to say to him? Anything in particular that you'd like to tell the champ maybe before you run into him in the back Saturday night at the Fountains Church?
I mean, he's not going to... I mean, he'd be a brave man to come into the back after what he did to Gareth last show, wouldn't he? Like...
Now, who's going to step up to him, though? Do you think anybody in the back is going to want to do what Disciple, after what he did to Gareth Angel? I mean, do you think anybody would?
You know, I'd step up to him. I mean, someone like Sean Only would step up to him. There's all sorts. I mean, as much as I hate Sean Only, we're all big guys. We're all not.
But scared. I asked him that question though last week. I asked him, "Are you concerned about what the reaction will be when you go back into the locker room?" And he said no. He was pretty dead on. He was like, "Tom, no." He didn't seem.
I mean, he'll keep himself to himself. He's got his silly little open challenge. So who knows whether he set that up for somebody to come out to make him seem, you know, like a bigger deal, you know, like someone he knows, or maybe it's actually an open challenge that, you know, somebody could take it off, and we could be talking about this right now. Disciple might not even be the champion by the time I'm number one contender.
Interesting thought there. That is a possibility for sure. or there could be a possibility where Disciple wins and somebody else wins the number one contenders
Mhm.
match. And while I have you on here with Disciple, I kind of wanted to ask you because it was announced. I wasn't going to ask this, but now that I have Disciple, I want to get his thoughts because I'll certainly have Disciple in before the 17th of December. But I saw that we're sort of going to get like a GT Ministries match in another company because we're going to get the wild card Tommy Dillon and Disciple at Nonstop Action Wrestling's Nuclear Winter, December the 17th. And it's sort of, at the moment, it's champion versus champion and a winner takes all. I mean, leave aside the titles. I mean, what do you make of that between the undefeated in GT Ministries, the wild card Tommy Dillon, and the reigning defending GT Ministries champion Disciple? You have any thoughts on that outcome? Maybe you're watching that from afar because you very well could be scouting Disciple.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to scout whoever is the champion after Saturday. So, yeah, but Disciple could be going to that match without the GTM title, so he might be going for just the NSAW title.
Ooh.
So, will Tommy Dillon, will that get changed if Disciple loses on Saturday? Will it then be whoever wins against Tommy Dillon for both the titles?
Boy, I'll tell you what, that would really be a short title run here. I mean, Disciple, I literally just got the title. I think you're telling me he could lose the title. I mean, boy, I don't know. I mean, he definitely looked good with the title. I don't know if I agree fully with everything, but we do love Disciple on Sportswire Radio, and I want everybody to follow him, just like I want everybody to follow Bentley here. If you're on Facebook, go please like that page.
Are you condoning his behavior, Tom?
I didn't say I was condoning his behavior. I did say, though, that he's going to be somebody that's going to be very difficult to dethrone. And it was very impressive, regardless of how he did it. Very impressive that he took Gareth Angel, who just got the title. And look at what Gareth Angel went through to get back that championship. And for what Disciple did to him as easily as he did, I mean, that put a lot of people in the wrestling world on notice. I mean, there's no disputing that. What he did, I mean, he put a lot of people on notice.
Was Gareth Angel 100% after his war with Jack Johnson?
Fair. But Gareth Angel said, you know what, Disciple? You wanted the title shot? I'm giving it to you. And Disciple had a plan. And you know what? I know you wouldn't have did it the way that Disciple did it. But you know what? He accepted the match. Gareth Angel wanted to give it to him.
I wouldn't have needed to do it the way Disciple did it.
Fair enough. Disciple is a great wrestler, but he has become a bit of a bully after what he did to Gareth Angel. Disciple is the Brock Lesnar of GT Ministries. Interesting. That's an interesting, and are you the Bobby Lashley? Stay tuned. And here's what
lost the other day.
He did, but in terms of Brock and Bobby, there is that rivalry there, which I still think will continue. But Disciple responds. He says, "Ain't no chance of me losing. I won't have a short reign like Gareth Angel. I am a man of my word and do whatever I have to." And cannot dispute that. That Disciple has always been a man of his word here, and certainly, if you are following and watching, make sure you follow. You're about to say something, guys?
Yeah, it was a man of his word when he said he was going to beat me in the main event 6 months ago.
So are you saying Bentley 1, Disciple 0? And of course, we had you guys on in the summer. You guys faced off with each other. We had you guys here both live at the same time. So are you saying, reminding Disciple, it's 1 Bentley, Disciple 0?
I mean, you could say that, yeah. I mean, all I'm saying is that as soon as Disciple gets in the ring with Bentley, then that'll be the end of his title reign.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, are we building to something big? I don't know. But I know one thing. If you want to follow Bentley on Instagram, Bentley_wrestler, make sure you follow him. Like him on Facebook as well, Bentley Wrestler. Also, Disciple. Make sure you follow Disciple and support him as well. All the great things that he does for us here on Sportswire Radio. He's always with us, so we got to make sure we support him and support everybody at GT Ministries. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryson. If you like what you hear from us, please continue to give us a like on Facebook at Sportswire Radio. And 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, you can listen to all of our great content on sportnarium.com/player. I also want to give a shout out to our friends over at Wrestling Championship Entertainment because I am wearing a shirt that the owner of the company has given me, a nice plug I want to give them because they have certainly made sure to recognize we support them here on Sportswire Radio. And if you like what you hear from Wrestling Championship Entertainment, please give them a follow on Facebook at WCE Heat. You can go to WCEHeat.com for all information regarding Wrestling Championship Entertainment. Also, their page as well on YouTube, where you can watch all great content from the company, including Fighter Fight Day 1, Day 2, so many great shows that you can watch from Wrestling Championship Entertainment, and of course, the most recent shows. And this Saturday, at about, I'd say, 11:30, 11:45 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to have Craven Rage and JDT. And, of course, JDT is our new WCE Interstate Champion. So a lot to get into there with JDT, and Craven Rage is always in the house with us. Always love Craven Rage here. And Craven Rage, really, just as we might have said, Bentley is the Wrestler of the Year in GT Ministries, Craven Rage very well might be the Wrestler of the Year in Wrestling Championship Entertainment. Also, Nicholas Crenton will be back with us in the house. We're going to have full coverage of Wrestling Championship Entertainment all winter. We're going to warm you up. I know we're getting into the cold months, even though in New York, it's still been very, very nice, almost spring-like up until today. But I'm telling you, we are going to warm things up on Sportswire Radio. It may be the off-season at Wrestling Championship Entertainment, but we are certainly going to have hot stove coverage for you. Also, this Friday, we're going to have ALP, the heart and soul of Knockout Wrestling, because they have their 10th anniversary show in Barrow next weekend. RPD and the Ronin Brian Aidenson are going to be wrestling each other finally. I mean, there's a lot of great matches. The Playboy Prince Lance Rivera is going to be in the house. Big Guns Joe versus Lucas Neon for the World Championship. There are a lot to get into there with ALP. That'll be 8 p.m. British Standard Time, so check that out. But we are here with the vigilante of pro wrestling. That is Bentley for about 20 or so minutes. You know, Bentley, I want to ask you, because Jack Johnson is an interesting guy. I know you made a point that maybe Jack Johnson could be the Wrestler of the Year in GT Ministries, but I'm going to go a step further. He might actually be one of the Wrestlers of the Year, period, because as far as I saw, he's now the Bolton Town Wrestling Champion. And then on top of that, we're going to see him and Linda in the ring. I mean, Bentley, I got to ask you, what's up with all that?
Well, I'll give you a breakdown of what happened at BTW last Friday. So there was a scramble match. So there was, who was in it? There was Dean Allmark, Joey Hayes.
Joey Hayes, we know obviously very well, yep.
Rarebit, the champion, Alex Boylan, Maverick Matt Williams, and they were all in a scramble match for the title. At the end of the match, the champion was Maverick Matt Williams. And then that was when Jack came out and cashed his briefcase in. So he didn't pin Rarebit, as Rarebit, Rarebit wasn't actually pinned in the end. Alex Boylan got pinned for the title. And then, Jack cashed in on Matt Williams. So that's what happened there. And I'll be coming after Jack in BTW. So that's something I need to, after this number one contenders match here on Saturday, I'll be addressing that at BTW. And the Linda match, I just hope Linda's got some backup, because Jack can be a nasty individual.
Yeah, oh, listen, he's definitely one of the more nastier individuals that we have had on here on Sportswire Radio, and he has always been memorable when he's appeared with us, and we will be bringing him back on before the end of the year. So I almost have to ask, if you're Linda, how do you prepare for something like this? I don't even know what to say. She's not a wrestler.
Yeah.
Are you talking to her? Are you giving her advice? I
haven't spoken to her. Gareth, I don't know. Gareth obviously is injured, so I don't know if Gareth spoken to her. She may have reached out to someone. It's not me or Gareth. Well, it may be
MC2,
Gareth.
maybe. Listen, maybe MC2 at the announce booth, Joe Cobra. I don't know.
So she's not. Yeah, I don't know what to expect. To be honest, it's a mystery. But I just hope she knows what she's doing. I will be obviously in if Jack does too much or is, I will be on hand for assistance. But at the moment, she's going alone, as far as I'm aware.
So, any advice you give to Linda? Anything, if you want? I'm sure she's going to be listening to this at some point.
I think she's actually bigger than Jack, to be fair. Jack's quite a small man, so she could just hold him at hand's length.
Yeah, but you said it yourself. Jack Johnson's a nasty individual. Yeah. He's a nasty man, and God bless Linda, literally. But I mean, I don't know how you prepare for this. You're not a wrestler, and I have a comment towards you. Will Bentley be wrestling on Saturday? Yes, Leah, he will be wrestling. And in fact, we will re-announce the announcement that we had at the top of the show that the Vigilante of Pro Wrestling, Bentley, will be in the ring as a part of a number one contender fatal four-way match between himself, Sean Only, who is also the head trainer of GT Ministries, the Metal God Alex Boylan, no stranger to Bentley, and also Drill. So it is a four-way match here that I think is going to probably be one of the more interesting matches of the year in GT Ministries, and also it'll decide who Disciple will challenge should he get past his own open challenge. So we got a action-packed card here at the Fountains Church in Bradford for Sold Out. So certainly WCW used to have shows called Sold Out. It was WCW
Yeah.
NWO Sold Out, and I have a feeling that this is going to be just as, if not even better, than what GT Ministry Sold Out will be compared to WCW NWO Sold Out. But I mean, I want to continue to stay with Bolton Town for a second because I do want to get to the Nathan Gunn's comments that we had before we get to closing thoughts because we know you go about 15 or so minutes with you. But I mean, so I understand that you were in the ring with the Wrecking Crew, who we certainly know very well on Sportswire, the other Wrecking Crew, I guess, compared to Disciples Wrecking Crew,
The proper
and
wrecking crew.
it's my understanding that apparently your tag team partner and you aren't on the same page anymore. You want to fill us in on what happened and why?
So yeah, me and Phil go way back. We trained
Yep.
together when we first started training together. We've always been, we've always been friends. He came to my aid last show, to stop the Wrecking Crew from beating me up with a chair and causing worse damage. So we teamed against the Wrecking Crew this show. The result of the match, so what happened was I claymored Chris Stone, and then some other stuff happened. And then Phil and Getsky were trading in the corner. I went to go and kick Getsky in the face. Getsky moved out the way. Ended up kicking Phil in the face by accident. And then my leg got held by the Wrecking Crew, by Chris Stone and the outside of the ring and Nick Cutter. So I couldn't see what was going on. And then after my kick, Getsky did something to Phil and pinned him, and I couldn't get loose. So when the Wrecking Crew had gone, I was helping Phil up, apologising, trying to say what had gone on. He thought I just didn't break the pin up after kicking him because he didn't know I was being held by Nick Cutter. I raised his hand, turned, and then boom, kicks me in the face, stomps on me. The ref has to pull him off, and yeah, that's what happened. And I will be making a challenge to Phil for the next BTW show in early next year, just so we can sort this out. Because if we're going to sort it out, it's going to have to be like men in the ring.
I mean, you have a relationship with him sort of before this. You trained with him. You thought you knew him. You thought you were friends. I mean, in a way, this has got to really be personal now with what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something you don't. I think what caught me off guard is I just didn't expect it. I mean, it just, I thought we were on the same page. Maybe we had a few mix-ups in the matches, but we're not a tag team. The Wrecking Crew are a tag team. They've been a tag team for years. They know what they're doing, and yeah, we got a bit mixed up at points. But that's going to happen when you've not tagged together either, or you aren't a unit like that. But obviously, Phil doesn't see it that way. It is personal. It's something that I'm not going to enjoy having to beat Phil, but if I'm going to have to do it, it's going to have to be it's just something I have to do.
Well, we're going to certainly find out, and of course, we always want to give our friends at Bolton Town Wrestling a follow and support. Always love what Lucas Jackson and the rest of the company does. They can go to Bolton Town Wrestling for more information on Instagram, certainly Facebook as well, and make sure you support the company and all the companies that, of course, Bentley and the others, whether it's Davey Getsky and Jack Johnson, the Maverick Matt Williams, Alex Boylan, Rarebit, are all a part of it. Make sure you continue to support Bolton Town Wrestling. And Leah also wants to say she will be there Saturday. She will be in attendance cheering you on. She will definitely be, I am sure, looking forward to the rest of the card at the Fountains Church in Bradford. Make sure you get there early. I think match time, I think we're looking at, I believe 7 o'clock is what we're looking at, usually 7:30. I think doors open 6:30, if I'm not mistaken. So figure match will be underway around 7 o'clock, 7:30. So make sure you get there early. GT Ministries UK on all their social media pages for more information. But, Bentley, I wanted to ask you before we get to closing thoughts here about the scenario Nathan Gunn. The scenario Nathan Gunn, we always joke, is kind of like our third man of the LWF Power Hour, because every Friday on Sportswire Radio, we usually cover the LWF, although it's kind of a two-man booth these days because the Acid Stephen Cross doesn't really join us on the video, but we do usually get Wildfire Nate Reese, who I'm sure you know a little bit, and of course, the scenario Nathan Gunn, who I understand you were in the ring with not too long ago, and I also understand that you have a victory over him. And I also know that the scenario Nathan Gunn had a few things to say about it, and I was wondering your thoughts on it, and maybe if you two would meet again somewhere in the ring.
I mean, yeah, we faced each other at PCW a few weeks ago. It was a good match. I mean, so funny story. I got to the venue and someone said, "Bentley, you're going to have a bit of trouble here." Because the ring was pretty much touching the roof. And
oh my God.
So I got in the ring and the lighting is about just above my head. So I couldn't do it. And like I had to change anything I wanted. Like I had to change my game so much. So I thought, because I do a lot of stuff, lifting, I couldn't lift an opponent. Like I couldn't lift Nathan. So I had to come up with ways to actually beat someone and, with, stuff that doesn't involve things like that. It was a challenge. I'm sure it threw Nathan off guard as well when we got there. So it wasn't just me who was dealing with that. But yeah, it was a decent match. He's definitely someone I would face again. Hopefully maybe on a bigger stage. But yeah, if he's got a problem, I've got a problem with him currently.
No, and he didn't have a problem with you either. I think it's more or less a mutual respect thing. And what he also said was he didn't realize how big you were.
Well, many people have said that.
He was impressed also, and we even spoke about this off the air, myself and this scenario Nathan Gunn, because we have him on almost, I would say at least once a month at this point, because I always joke he's kind of our third man of our two-man booth at this point in the LWF Power Hour. And he was impressed almost with so much you can do for your size. I think that was the thing that impressed him so much about you.
I mean, it's something I work on. I try and work on, agility. I try and work on explosiveness. Try and, something I could like to differentiate me from other people my size who just want to walk around, be slow, chop people, people up. Like I want to be able to hang it with these little high flyers.
Well, I wouldn't say that Nathan Gunn is kind of like an but he's sort of somewhere in the middle. Somewhere like in the middle. There's no question that the scenario Nathan Gunn is definitely a very unique wrestler. And I have to ask you one more question on him, and I'm probably going to get in a little bit of trouble, but I'm sure he'll laugh when he hears this. But have you ever gone to an after party with the scenario Nathan Gunn? Because there's nobody that parties apparently like the scenario Nathan Gunn.
I have not, no. So yeah.
He's legendary for that in the LWF. There's nobody that parties like him. And also, little known fact, apparently he can belt the tune out. He's apparently a pretty good singer from what we've heard from a little birdie. So yeah, the scenario Nathan Gunn gets around. He's definitely somebody that he's one of the more cooler guys in the locker room in the LWF and some other places. But I would love to see you guys in the ring, because that would be a dream-like scenario to see you guys in a rematch, a series of matches. I know Disciple and you, maybe we've not seen the last of that. Maybe you and Jack Johnson, but certainly you and the scenario Nathan Gunn, I think would be a match that would put a lot of butts in the seats. It would sell a lot of tickets, in any company. I don't care what company it would be. It would certainly be a main event-like match. And the run that you've been on, conversely, I think in the LWF, especially the second half of the year, the scenario Nathan Gunn has probably been the wrestler of the year for the second half of the LWF, because he's defeated Davey Getsky. He was a part with Reynaldo in the Mass Marauder, defeated the Wrecking Crew at the last LWF show. You look at the run he's on. He's pinned Wildfire Nate Reese, and all the different things that he has done out there. There is no question that the scenario Nathan Gunn has been on a run almost as good as yours, the vigilante of pro wrestling. But I realize Our time is coming up here shortly. So I wanted to ask you a couple questions. The first question is, and what do you want to say to anybody that's coming to the Fountains Church to watch you wrestle Saturday night?
Be ready for 4 big men giving the roll, kicking the crap out of each other, all wanting to be the number 1 contender for one of the biggest prizes in the Northwest of wrestling. And be ready for Bentley to be that man who's going to be the number 1 contender for the GTM title.
All right, well, I think that's straight, simple, and to the point. I definitely agree with that. And I have to ask you, what are your final words for your opponents Saturday night? Drill, the Metal God Alex Boylan, and Sean Only.
Drill, we've never stepped foot in a ring together, but I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a challenge. It'll be something different, and I relish challenges and different challenges and facing new people. So it'll be something I'm excited. I am excited about it. And Sean Only, we've got a past. We know what each other's capable of. Just be ready for me to be at my best. I'll be ready for you to be at your best. And Boylan, I know you're going to come straight for me after what happened last show. So I am ready for Boylan as soon as that bell rings. So bring it on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you definitely need to be following GT Ministries UK on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. And of course, to watch the action, you'll see Bentley, the Metal God Alex Boyle, and Sean Only and Drill. You can watch on Facebook and YouTube, GT Ministries UK. And what I love about GT Ministries is that they always stream all of their shows live in real time for free. That's why you need to support the mission of GT Ministries. Also, Disciples Open Challenge, Jack Johnson versus Linda Moslin. Obviously, that's going to be a wild, intriguing match, plus much, much more ahead. So GT Ministries UK on all social medias. Continue to support Bentley. Also, Bentley_wrestler. And hopefully we get you on one more time before the end of the year. So I'm not going to ask you final thoughts about the end of the year in review, because I'm still going to say, we'll get you on one more time before December 31st. So I'll save those comments. But I do want to give you the floor. I do want to give you some closing thoughts, because obviously I know you're a busy man. You've got a lot going on. So anything you want to plug, anything else you want to share and say, and I turn it over to you, my friend. And obviously wishing you a lot of luck out there. Well, remains to be seen about you and Disciple, what happens there, and anything else that may come. But the floor is yours. You know the drill. And anything else you want to plug, fire away.
Just thanks as usual, thanks for having us on, Tom. Thanks people for watching. Thanks to GTM for giving all us wrestlers this opportunity and, being able to show it to the world, because not everywhere has live streams and not everywhere, provides the footage for everyone to see. So it's great to actually have footage out there for people to watch, to gain popularity and, get feedback. So, yeah, thanks for all that. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday. I'm looking forward to the end of the year, next year, and hopefully everything's going to be Bentley, year of Bentley in 2023.
Ooh, I'll tell you what. I mean, we've certainly thought a couple of different times this year that you were going to have gold, whether it was on your shoulders, around your waist. But could 2023 be the year of Bentley, the year where he finally breaks through and gets the brass ring? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the match that could be that springboard. Sometimes you see it a lot in sports. You'll see it whether a team plays and it's the end of the season and they got to win a game, and then they use it as almost locker room material for next season. Whether it's football around the world, football in America, there's always that possibility. This could be that match where Bentley wins and uses that as the springboard to maybe having some gold around his shoulder or his waist in places like GT Ministries. Stay tuned. Bentley Wrestler also on Twitter. Bentley_wrestler also on Instagram, where you can find out to buy merchandise from Bentley, plus much, much more. Continue to support everything he does. Also, our friends over at Bolton Town Wrestling want to shout out the Scenario Nathan Gunn, and we will definitely be back here as well on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and also sportnarium.com/player this Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. British Standard Time with ALP to give you coverage of KOW's 10th anniversary show. We will also have on Wildfire Nate Reese right afterwards to follow, and maybe Nathan Gunn. Nathan Gunn might be with us, so we'll make sure that he hears what you have to say and more. But certainly, my friend, I can't thank you enough. Go get him out there. Good luck, and let's hope we get you on one more time before the year is out, and we'll have something else to talk about.
Thank you.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, we were here on Sportswire Radio and Sportnarium.com/play with pro wrestling star Bentley. And one more time, we recap the announcement that coming up here Saturday night at the Fountains Church in Bradford, Bentley will be a part of a 4-way #1 contenders match to determine who will be the next person to possibly face off with Disciple should he retain his GT Ministries World Championship, although I do think Disciple will retain. But hey, that's just me. I'm a supporter of Disciples. What can I say? But it'll be Bentley against Sean Only, the trainer of GT Ministries, the Metal God, Alex Boylan, and Drill. So for more information on that, go to gtministries.co.uk. Also, GT Ministries UK on Facebook and YouTube, where you can watch. If you're on sportnarium.com/player, you'll go back to your regularly scheduled programming here in about 10 or so minutes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I am the host of the Sports Report and the station manager of Sportswire Radio, the Reverend Tom Bryce. We'll be back here Friday night on the #1 global radio station that is Sportswire